Give me a minute. I want to talk about Palm's comment here. You live in Ukraine, right? And you are not afraid that some of these Russian drones will fly around there to bring damage. I would be afraid from it. Now, first of all, if I'm not mistaken, Palm does not follow the channel, but does regularly comment on things here. So I thought it was worthwhile to address it. Also, I don't normally talk about me very much, but there is he makes a good point, right? Like it's a legitimate point, and maybe we should talk about it for a minute. So first of all, guy's wearing an airborne hat. Now, lots of people own hats that don't have anything to do with their lives, so I wonder if he really means that he would be afraid from it. I don't know. But I'm going to assume for a second that the question is genuine and the sentiment is genuine. You're right. It's a real concern here. Let me tell you something. When air defense, which guards us in our sleep every single night, takes out an Iskander missile over this neighborhood, the whole building moves. And I'm in one of those big old Soviet apartment blocks, right, with like 13 stories and 100 apartments or whatever. And the whole building moves. It's not a joke, right? My friend's place, an Iskander came down in the street right out in front of her building. Every window facing the street was busted out. There was an inch of broken glass in her lobby. These are real concerns. The terror campaign against the Ukrainian people goes on day in and day out here. Over 760 glide bombs last week alone. 1,400 air raids across the country. When I first came to Ukraine, I had a plan. And I gave myself 3 months to implement that plan. Well, you know what they say. If you want to make God laugh, just tell him your plans, right? Because my plan failed. The plan was based on my own ignorance and arrogance. And so it didn't work out. But in my time here, I became absolutely convinced that what I believed when I left the United States, that this was the most important thing happening in the world right now, and that these folks could use a hand, that I was right about that. This is the most important geopolitical happening in the world, and the Ukrainians are shorthanded. And if I don't do any good here at all, except add the industry and economy of one person to the economy, it helps. It's a drop in the bucket, right? But lots of drops in the bucket make a difference. And there's a lot of foreigners like me here who believe in Ukraine, who believe in the future of Ukraine in the EU, and who understand that Russia is our enemy. So I am as safe as any single one of these Ukrainians. And nobody should ever feel bad for me, because this was a choice that I made to be here. I have no connection to Ukraine, but I am a fanatic when it comes to democracy. And what I see happening in my own country hurts me to the core and concerns me deeply. And so my plan when I came here was to try to learn from the Ukrainians about our common enemy, the Russians, who they are, what they do, how they do it, and how we can defend ourselves from them. And as I said, in my ignorance and arrogance, I thought that I'd be able to wrap that up real fast. It ain't that easy. Turns out it is not that easy. But that is the problem, right? We never know what we don't know. When we think about the problems, addressing the problems in the world, what do we talk about? We talk about the known knowns, the known unknowns. We worry about the unknown unknowns, right? There's something else going on in the world today. People are choosing to unknow what is known. Everybody in 7th grade in the United States learned about the Smoot-Hawley tariffs and how they deepened the recession and made the Great Depression into the Great Depression. And yet here we have a guy in charge who's going to war with our closest allies on tariffs that are going to wreck the economy, not of the United States, but of all of North America. Just about the richest continent on earth. Going to wreck it. Wreck it. I saw on YouTube a girl talking to her dad on the phone. She recorded the conversation. And her dad said to her, "You're a communist. You think everybody's equal? Everybody's not equal. That's communism." I'm sorry. The notion that all men are created equal is enshrined in the founding documents of the United States of America. The bare minimum to be an American is that you have to agree that all people are created equal and entitled to equal protection under the law. From the billionaires to the homeless guy in the street, to the immigrant, the asylum seeker, the refugee, all entitled to equal protection under the law. And we're choosing to forget that. So many of my fellow Americans are just abandoning the core principles over racist, misogynistic, religious notions that all belong in the dustbin of history. These are all ideas that have been firmly rejected by the Enlightenment and thinking people everywhere. I don't understand what it is to be transgender. I am a straight white man and have never once felt uncomfortable in my body, even though I'm 300 pounds, right? I think I'm a handsome motherfucker. And I always will. And that's just built into me. I don't know what it is to be uncomfortable in my body. But if my brother or sister tells me that they are in theirs, I have a responsibility to believe them. And to leave their decisions to them, how they're going to deal with that. It's none of my fucking business. I don't want to be in control of women's reproduction because we know that the cure for poverty is giving women the power to decide when and with whom they're going to have children. That's the cure for poverty, right? A lot of talk about that when I was a kid. We figured it out, make no mistake. And now they want to throw out what we've learned. And it's all unworkable, as we see as one Trump policy after another is being removed, right? Because they're untenable. So don't anybody worry about me. I chose to be here, and I am learning. And I hope that what I learn will someday benefit my country. And if I can do a little good on behalf of the Ukrainians while I'm here, great. Worry about the Ukrainians. They didn't choose this. This was thrust upon them. And they deserve our help, our support, and our trust. Thank you.